Okay, guys, 27 years have passed. Pennywise the clown is back in the town of Derry, more sinister and evil than ever. I had a chance to check it out. It, Chapter 2, it's super creepy. Here today is director Andy Muschietti and producer Barbara Muschietti. Good to have you guys with us in studio this morning. Thanks for freaking me out. I was just saying to you guys off camera, like the horror genre is new to me.
Yeah.
And so I get thrown into this one, which is pretty terrifying.
It's a good time to start.
It is a good time and a good movie to start with.
Definitely.
I want to talk about the start of this movie because it does begin with a brutal hate crime. Why was it so important to open the film in this way?
Well, it's part of the it's part of the book to start with. It was very important for Stephen King to include it back in the day when he wrote it. He was writing about, you know, he wrote this book from 1981 to 1985, and this is a real tragedy that happened, the murder of Charlie Howard in '84, and he included it because he was, you know, writing about the horrors of human behavior in small town America, and this horrible thing happened. It is relevant to this day too. That's why I included it in the movie. Something horrible, human behavior that is still happening, surprisingly. And yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things when I was when you look at the film as a whole and you look at the themes of this film, I was trying to figure out if I was more freaked out over, you know, the look of Pennywise or the fact that Pennywise preys on our fears, which is, I think, something that we can all connect with, right? That idea of somebody preying on our greatest fear.
And, you know, creating a divisive energy. And this is how our losers get to fight, get a fighting chance against Pennywise. You know, unifying, not listening, like ignoring his, you know, the division he's trying to create.
And also the way that they come together and use their words as weapons.
Yeah.
Right? I thought that was a really interesting commentary on sort of what we're all talking, the narrative that goes on the playground, you know, in the household, at work.
Yeah.
That idea of bullying and using those words for good or evil.
Yes.
How did you incorporate that into this film, and why was that theme so important?
Well, the theme that is important is, you know, we can be powerful if we unite. It's a story about friendship, childhood, the end of childhood, love, loss, but also about the power of unified belief. And unified belief is the power that we need when when they try to use fear against us. You know, it's not light that we're saying that this movie is very relevant to the times that we're living, where there's, you know, basically leaders that are trying to use fear as a weapon to divide us and turn us against each other. And in times like this, we need to do what losers do, which is stick together.
Stick together as a unified
and believe,
front. Yeah.
believe in our power as a group.
So this film is partially shot in Port Hope, Ontario. I spent 2 years in Port Hope, Ontario, going to high school. Yeah. So I was looking at this film through like that lens. I was like, oh, there's the, you know, the Capitol Theater where I used to go and do plays, or there's the coffee shop. I have a different view of it now in terms of what you guys did to this place. But why was Port Hope the right backdrop for this film?
Well, we were trying to find, you know, Stephen King wrote this book in Bangor. He called it Derry because he didn't, you know, there was so much trauma around, you know, Adrian Mellon or Charlie's death that he decided to change the name to a fictional town called Derry. But we were looking a small town that looked very much like Bangor, and we found it.
Yeah, we found it. And, you know, of course, it's not exactly like Bangor, and I'm pretty obsessive with the details and the geography. Every single place that Stephen King describes in the book is there in Bangor, and I had to turn Port Hope into Bangor. Port Hope is more beautiful than Bangor.
Port Hope is really beautiful,
It's
but you were able to
gorgeous.
create like that undertone of creepiness.
Yes.
Guys, this film is super creepy. I'm going to tell you because I don't see horror films. This is the one to go see for sure. And what a great addition to, you know, the last film that came out in 2017. Yeah. Okay, so let's get this away. That's the point, though, right? Andy and Barbara, thank you so much.
No,
you can check out the conclusion, It Chapter 2, when it floats into theaters September 6th.